All right, we are back. Let's see if y'all come back in here again, and let's do this. I'll leave a little note here. So YouTube was glitching for a lot of people, including for me. Yeah, so YouTube was acting really glitchy for a lot of people. I had to kill that live stream and start up a new one, which is unfortunate because we had 4 or 5 folks in there, and that's annoying. But I killed that stream and started up another one. Let's see if this one's actually alive now. So maybe we're about to find out. Let's go here. I know you guys can't see anything, but that's okay. And let's go here. And let's go here. And it looks like... No, another error still is not working. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, we got one person watching. I see that Pop made it in there. That's good. Dad made it back. So I'm glad this one's working. We'll keep this one up and see if everybody else comes back in or not to the live stream here. But what was basically happening is I noticed about 10 or 15 minutes before I went live that I couldn't get YouTube to play videos on my phone. I couldn't get videos to play from my computer. And then you guys all started seeing errors and glitches as well. So I just stopped that stream. But I really think the problem was on YouTube's end because like I said, I couldn't watch multiple shorts on my phone. I couldn't watch regular videos on my computer, on my television. Everything was kind of haywire. So maybe YouTube fixed their problem. But the good news is some of y'all are finding your way back in here again. Daniel is back. Lori's back. Yeah, Dad, I don't think you're going to be able to go back to the other live stream because I ended it. I don't think you're going to be able to talk to anybody in that stream. So there's no point in that. Lori, the difference is the first live stream I started was glitching out and erroring, and people would try to get into it and they'd get an error that says can't start. So I ended that stream and started up a new one. So yeah, problem on YouTube's end. Monica made it back. Yeah, this one's working exactly. So I was talking to you folks on the stream and I could see your comments, but you couldn't see me. The only fix for that, and I guess maybe this is a good warning if this ever happens to any of you in your live streams, is if that ever happens, I went to the YouTube studio. In fact, let me show you what I was looking at. I got some cool little animated transitions here. So in my I went to content, and then I went to live, and then down here where the little up here it's got this little radio icon where you can come in and you can see the stats of your live stream. Up here in this area right here, it said error, failed to connect. Please try again. And so that was no bueno. But we're back. All I did was I just went and started a new live stream on the fly, which is the one we're in right now, and everything's to be working again now. So that's good. Everything's back. While we're over here, look at this. We are in the 70s, 2970, and I want to talk in a second, maybe in a few minutes, I'll talk about something that I think is causing a little bit of a change to the subscribers jumping back up again. It was kind of stalled out, honestly. It was stalled in the 2960s for a while, and I think I know what it was. And I made a change last week on Wednesday and started jumping back up, and it went. We lost some people along the way too, because you always have some people who unsubscribe at the same time. But 2975, gaining about 3 people a day, which is fantastic. So let me get caught up on your comments here. So yeah, Lori, that's what was happening. The old one is I killed it. We started up a new one. So, okay, Monica says the way I solved it is put it on the telly, and I'm commenting from my phone. Yes, but this is the second live stream that I started up, which seems to be working. I think what really happened is YouTube fixed their crap in the background. They probably knew a glitch was happening, and they turned it off and back on again or something, So Okay, Monica likes the green theme. So yeah, I was playing around with this new Ecamm profile that I've got. Let me just quickly go through and show you some of the scenes that I've set up so you'll see what I've got. I've got a full screen thing here. Oh, I guess I can turn that comment off there. Oh, Geraldine can't. She can't, she can't find her headphones, so she can't hear us. But that's okay. I'm glad she made it. And look at this, guys. Daniel had a live stream today at 6 o'clock and went for a full hour. And I got to tell you, Daniel, you did a great job. You had a troll in there bugging people. This guy or girl from Egypt was asking you the most insane questions in the world about politics and religion. What an idiot. Even after you asked them not to. So, make Monica and me moderators on your channel, and that way we can help you clear those people out if somebody starts doing it. It's one thing if they just want to be curious and ask questions, but they were honestly asking a bunch of nonsense. Asking you how you can prove God exists and stuff. That's not what you're trying to talk about. And he kept dragging you off topic. You were trying to have a conversation about what you wanted to talk about, and every time you looked down at the comments, dude would drag you off topic, into the weeds. So, which is a good reminder to have your notes, right? When you guys, all of you, if you start a live stream, got my little notes, and I start keeping this list of things to talk about. Like as soon as my previous live stream ended, I started making notes. So I know multiple things I want to talk about, and I'm going to also, I'm not going to look at the comments 100% of the time. Daniel, that's something I think that would have helped you, is to be staring at the screen and the comments all the time. I don't think it's 100% helpful to do that. I think it's better to say what you want to say, look at the lens of the camera, talk to your audience, and then look down and see what the comments are and see what you're, read through a few. Like, so let me see what you guys have been saying, yep, making through the live stream. Everybody's saying hi to Geraldine. Geraldine is not on the bus or on a taxi cab, which is great. I'm not a pro, Monica. I appreciate you. That's very kind words, but it's kind of you, but it's I'm not a pro. I have been doing YouTube for 9 years, but I've really just been learning this software as I go. I will agree with you about this, though. This DJI camera that I've made into my main camera, crisp and clear. And I like the, one thing it does is it causes the background to be a little out of focus, which looks nice. It's got that shallow depth of field, which you don't get from a webcam that I was running before. So, that's kind of nice. Yeah, Geraldine. Now she's in a taxi. Okay, well, can you hear us, though? Did you find your AirPods, and can you hear us talking? That's the important thing, ma'am. So, Daniel, nice job on your live stream. And I watched a couple of good live streams this week. Rob had a great live stream. Daniel just had an awesome live stream. Monica, I haven't caught your live stream. You make them private so we can't see them after they're over. And Lori, were you live streaming? I'm just thinking of one of your videos, I think. The other live stream I saw, which was, it was Granny, of course. Granny had a collaboration live stream with another YouTuber. Kind of weird because the other YouTuber said they were going to do it on his channel. And then at the last second said, no, let's do it on Granny's channel. So people didn't know where to find it, and took a while to find Granny's. If you guys don't know Granny's Southern Corner, she's a real sweetie. And also, I got a new channel to follow. Daniel's got a viewer on his live stream named Fishing with Allie G, ALLYG, and I went over and looked at some of her videos after your live stream. I like her channel. She's cool. Yeah, Lori, yeah, you weren't the one that did it, but you didn't, but I think you should think about it. You don't need to have all this fancy software. Lights. I got a couple of lights up. I got a nice camera. I've got a good microphone. I've got my cool little scenes. Let me show you the scenes, by the way. I did say that I was going to do that, but I didn't. And Lori's asking Monica when her live stream is. I think it's whenever she feels like it. She just decides to go live and then hides it from us. So check out scene number. Yeah, Geraldine always goes to church on a Wednesday night. She's on her way to a Wednesday night church service, on her way to a bus station. So you're taking a taxi to a bus. It's always, but seems like every time I talk to Geraldine, she's on a bus or a taxi going somewhere, traveling through the busy streets of Lima. And last of not least, look who just happens to waltz in fashionably late. We were just talking about you, Granny. I was just talking about your live stream collaboration with the radar person and how hard it was to track down where's the live stream going to be because it changed locations from one to the other. Yeah, you like my fancy microphone, right? It looks like one of those high-end $600 jobbies, but it's not. It's just a Amazon. Take a look at this scene. I've got this cool layout here, so when I bring your comments up, it looks nice and super cool and nice and big screen, which would be great for people like Geraldine who are on mobile. If you're on mobile, or if you're streaming to people who are on mobile and you guys are doing mobile, if you can get your comments to show up nice and big like this is going to be a lot more useful to people who are looking at it on their phone, right? So that's, I got this Ecamm profile from a YouTube creator named, I think his name is Danny Chi or something like that. He had some profiles you can download, and this is one of them. I just modified it a little bit and changed it so that it had my background, and I changed his blue color to green and make it look all fancy. But you see the outline is kind of like motion moving around the outside like that. It's pretty cool. She says, hi, I haven't thought about it. It's super busy for me at the moment. Potentially during the weekend. If I do it next time, I'll leave it up and have a little post about it. There you go. That's the spirit, girl. Absolutely. And then Granny usually goes on at Tuesdays at 8. So same bat time, same bat channel as this video right now, but one day earlier. Right? But yeah, you're not leaving up your other ones. Let me show you a couple other cool scenes here. This little layout right here has my fishy. There's Clowny swimming up next to us and saying hi, and I don't know where the peppermint shrimp went to right now. The algae in this tank is a little bit more under control than it was last time. The reddish, purplish algae is now tending a little bit more towards green, which means it's growing on the light. The reddish stuff kind of grows on nutrients in the water, and the green stuff's growing on light. So, but that's cool. And then what else do I have? Oh, I've got this little screen share here that I showed you earlier. This layout that has my screen. So we can just real quick, we looked at the channel. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about in the channel while I have this view up? There is. But before we get into that, Geraldine, I promised you, a Lord of the Rings, a nature reading. And we are going to be doing a nature reading from now on, or we're going to try to on this channel. And I know this is a surprise to some of you, but for this week, my nature reading is once again a little bit of J.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. And so, and Monica is asking where Suzuki is. Last I looked, she was in the bedroom sleeping on the little stool by the window. But the kitty cat might hear me in here talking and decide to come visit. So we'll see. So I'm going to try to give you guys a reading from somewhere in literature that focuses on the outdoors and nature, gardens. This is a trip into Ithilien in the book The Two Towers, which, as everybody already knows, is the second book in The Lord of the Rings. And as our heroes are wandering into Ithilien, the garden of Ithilien, I'm going to give a little reading here. Now, this is very small on my screen, so I'm hoping we can read it. But from chapter 4 of Herbs and Stewed Rabbit, I'm starting on the second page there. Hey, CL, glad you made it. You caught us just in time for our nature reading. This won't be very long, but I do want to talk about it. And I want you to think about the senses that Tolkien is going to touch on here. The growing light revealed to them a land already. You know what? It's very difficult to read, unfortunately, for me, because it's so tiny on my screen. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can increase this slightly for me. Yeah, a little bit better. The growing light revealed to them a land already less barren and ruinous. The mountains still loomed up continuously on their left, but near at hand they could see the southward road, now bearing away from the black roots of the hills and slanting westwards. Beyond it were slopes covered with somber trees like dark clouds, but all about them lay a tumbled heathland, grown with I'm sorry, blinked and lost my place. Grown with ling and broom and corn and other shrubs that they did not know. Here and there they saw knots of tall pine trees. The hearts of the hobbits rose again, a little in spite of weariness. The air was fresh and fragrant, and it reminded them of the uplands of the North Farthing far away. It seemed good to be reprieved, to walk in a land that had only been for a few years under the dominion of the Dark Lord, and was not yet fallen wholly into decay. But they did not forget their danger, nor the black gate that was still all too near, hidden though it was behind the gloomy heights. They looked about for a hiding place where they could shelter from the evil eyes while the light lasted. See if I can make this a little bigger. Yeah, a little better. Oops. That's a little better. So they passed into the northern marches of that land that men once called Athelion, a fair country of climbing woods and swift falling streams. The night became fine under star and round moon, and it seemed to the hobbits that the fragrance of the air grew as they went forward. And from the blowing and muttering of Gollum, it seemed that he noticed it too and did not relish it. At the first signs of day, they halted again. They had come to the end of a long cutting, deep and sheer-sided in the middle, by which the road clove its way through a stony ridge. Now they climbed up the westward bank and looked abroad. So, what I want to focus on for a moment on these two sections here is the sense of smell, and the idea that an author can indicate to us how something smells in words is pretty amazing. It's pretty cool. I'll just bring my little mouse back over here. I'm going to resize something that you guys can't see, but I'm resizing it over here in my screen. There we go. So the glowing light revealed to them a land already less barren. The mountains still loomed up, but and beyond it were slopes. Where is what I was looking at here and there? The hearts of the hobbits rose again a little in spite of the weariness. The air was fresh and fragrant, and it reminded them of the uplands of the North Farthing far away. So that's the first thing that jumped out at me regarding the sense of smell and the way things there we go. The way things smell to them. And this really stood out to me partly because last Saturday when I was walking around in a place called High Ridge Nature Area, the smells were overwhelming. I was just completely surrounded by pine trees. The floor was just an entire carpet of pine needles, and it was such a beautiful smell. I was just blown away by the smell. And as we can see here, it's interesting the comparison that the night became fine under the round moon, and it seemed that the fragrance of the air grew as they went forward. And from the blowing and muttering of Gollum, he noticed it, but he did not relish it. So it was entrancing to them, but good old Gollum, who likes all the evil things and hates all the good things, he was not a fan of that. So I guess that's all I wanted to bring up and point out was these two passages that talk about the sense of smell and the fragrance and how it appealed to the hobbits and reminded them of home. And then it was unappealing to our buddy Mr. Gollum there. All right, let me get caught back up to our chat and see what we talk about here. Yep, Lori says DG did a nice job tonight. Absolutely. Don't worry about that feeling that you weren't talking in circles near as much as you probably thought you were, buddy. The trolls were definitely getting you, but don't worry about that stuff. That's very nice. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button here. Yeah, Granny saw some of your live. Don't worry about it. So yeah, the description of the smell and taste are always amazing when it comes through the written word, and that's one of the things that really jumped out at me is the fact that you can almost smell it coming off the page as the description of the fragrant pines and the fragrance of the air. Maybe it was more noticeable to me, like I said, because I was just in that kind of stuff last Saturday, 4 days ago. Sounds like a place which can take you back in time, filled with nostalgia. A place where you are being tempted and taken back in time. Maybe that's a good way to put it. Yeah. It's funny how a smell can bring you back in time to a point either in your youth. It's funny, every once in a while I'll have a smell that'll enter my mind and remind me of the pizza that they used to serve at the elementary school when I was 9, 10 years old. And, I've never tasted that taste again for 40 more years. But if I smelled it today, I would know there is the smell of the rectangular pizzas on Pizza Friday Day at Crestview Elementary. Geraldine says, I love the smell of the sea. Well, I have it next to me now, but I'm rarely near nature. I bet it's pretty tough where you live up in the the city of busy, bustling Lima, Peru. That's got to be tough to find any kind of nature. Maybe you can find a park. Maybe there's some place on one of your days off you can get out. Going to the beach is nice because I do enjoy the smell of the sea. The sea is calling to me. Dad says Hemingway does the same thing with the sounds of what he's writing about. When the army's marching, the words are clipped and stamping across the page. Right. Yeah, indicating an onomatopoetic way the sounds that the characters are hearing by mimicking that in the way the words come to us across the page with short, brusque, clipped words. Yeah, Monica says, everybody's got a food or a drink like that. This is a great touch, Scott. I like you could do it at the beginning of the live stream. Well, I wanted to do that little reading for Geraldine because last week, just as we started doing the Lord of the Rings, she had to jump off the call because she got to where she was headed at church. And that girl loves the Lord of the Rings almost as much as anybody else I know. Not true. I know a lot of people who love it as much as she does. So, yeah, the salty sea air. You can smell that salt in your nose. And then after you leave and go home, it's still kind of that salty sea air stuck in your nostrils. It's still there, right? The smells of Thanksgiving at your great granny's house. Yummy food. Yep, the smell of the gravy. Oh, the smell of gravy cooking. Hemingway is cool, fascinated by his life. What a talent. Have you seen the Midnight in Paris movie? I have not seen it. Woody Allen? Nope. Maybe Dad's seen that one. I don't watch too many movies based on books if I can help it. I find that if I do, it muddies up my memory of the book. And I find myself thinking I read something that actually was in the movie and thinking that I saw something in the movie that was actually in my mind when I was reading the book. So I don't watch a whole lot of movies if I can help it based on books and stuff like that. All right. Well, I do have a couple of, not that scene. Let's go to this scene so I can show you a couple of videos that I do have coming out soon. Not too many in the can right now. I remember when we were looking at these videos a few weeks ago and I had like 8 videos recorded and ready to go. But this one will be out probably tomorrow, visiting Cypress Creek Forest. And then sometime next week, a little walk, how nature can help you overcome embarrassment. And I filmed that one at that nature center that had all the smells. And I think some of you folks are going to get a kick out of this. I think I was thinking about this after a conversation with some of you folks talking about how hard it is to talk in front of people or how hard it is to talk in front of the camera. And, I just don't think about the cameras there anymore. I kind of get to the point when I just rambling and forget that I'm talking to whoever's watching, which admittedly is really not that many people. Let's be honest. How many people are really here? Let's take a peek and see. Yeah, we got eight folks watching. 9 were here, but 1 is left. And that's a neat thing, too, by the way. It seems like every single one of these live streams, there's a few more people. It is growing. I am seeing week over week increase in the number of people. So by the time we get to the end of this live stream, who knows? Maybe we'll have had 15 or so. But overcoming embarrassment, there's 2 points in this video. 1, how to deal with criticism. and 2, how to overcome embarrassment. And Lori just had a great video. Lori's Soul Circle just had a great video on this exact topic. And I commented on her video that we must have been thinking on the same wavelength, because I had just filmed a video, which isn't out yet. So she hadn't seen it because it's not out yet, on the same type of topic. But a way to think about criticism, whether it's somebody in person or somebody in the room, or someone 1,000, 10,000 miles away from you on the other side of the world commenting on your YouTube video or something, or your live stream. If you think about it the way that I tell you to think about it in this video, which will be out next Monday, I think you're going to start not paying so much attention to criticism or being embarrassed and that kind of stuff. So watch for that one. And then I also wanted to show you, let me go back to that view. What was that? I got these keyboard shortcuts for myself here so I can jump back and forth from one scene to another. I want to just real quick touch on Monica's channel, because she had a video that really kind of touched me. Let me see, where is my like-minded? There's Daniel's DG, and here is Ms. Monica's Quiet Nomad. Folks, I just want to bring your attention to this old post office tea house where the past still, what does it say? Where the past still breathes. She had filmed at this tea house, which used to be a post office previously, and it was closed. I think it was probably on her way to, you can correct me if this is not true, Monica, but I think you filmed that when you were on your way maybe to the Maidenstone or Persephone or something like that. The Persephone statue, and it was closed, so you couldn't get inside. But now she's gone back and stepped inside and had some snacks, had some tea, and there's some really beautiful scenery inside this beautiful old... Monica, how old was that post office? Do you remember? I don't remember if you said in there or not. And look at this, 408 views. That is an outlier for your channel. Compared to our normal views, my views as well, and your views, that's a rock star video right there, 400. I'm curious if you did anything interesting or different to that video. Did you post it anywhere else where people would have found it? Did you see it posted on social media or Reddit? Don't forget, folks, you can post a review in Google Maps of a location. So if you go to Google Maps and find the location you went to, and then post a review of it, include a link to your video in your review. That's a way to tag geographically items like that. Let me see what I'm missing from you folks. Why do you schedule your videos that way? Oh, I don't know if you're asking me or if you're asking that question to somebody else, Daniel, but I have found that if you schedule videos, it just... reminds me of which ones I intended to come out in what order. Are you asking me, why do I do a Monday? Why do I do a Thursday? Maybe that's what you're asking. If you're asking, why do I schedule them? It's mainly so that I remember what order to put them in, because as you can see here, I don't actually have them set up with a real date. These are scheduled for like 2026. This one says 2025, but I think it's scheduled for 9 p.m. So it'll actually go earlier than that. I schedule them out further than they're really going to go. And part of that is just so that it stacks them in order in this view, so I can see in the order I originally intended them to go. And Daniel, you're the person who's a member on my channel, so you get to see these ahead of time. Like this one in here is currently members only and scheduled to become public. So then when this one becomes public to the world tomorrow, this video will become members only. So then Daniel and anybody else who becomes a member will be able to see that one early. And then I'll have to get out and make some new videos, because that'll be the last one I have done. So I better get busy making videos. Let's see what else we're talking about. Why do you schedule? I feel like I ramble all the time. Well, we like the way you ramble, Granny. Your rambling is just fine. But I do try to prepare some notes to talk about, so I have my list of topics, and I tend to look away from the comments when I'm talking to you about a topic, and I just kind of say what I want to say about it, and then I come back like now and get caught back up. So look at this. We got somebody here who had joined the chat, and I didn't even realize. Hi, Ruben. I don't believe we've met. I'm Scott, and it looks like you're meeting some of the other folks in here. But your name looks familiar, Ruben. So maybe I've seen you on Granny's channel, or maybe I've seen you over on Rob the Maritimer or something. But either way, it's wonderful to have you here. So thanks for dropping in. Nice to see you. And she says you've got two, but I have no idea what you guys were talking about right there. And CL, who goes by CL, by the way, I will let you know, CL told us in last week's live stream that they prefer to go by CL. That's how we address CL. And I don't know if CL is a boy CL or a girl CL or a neither CL or a both CL, but I will just say they, unless they tell me otherwise. So CL lives near a bayou. The air always smells of the ocean. So you smell that all the time. I'm down here in South Florida, but I'm about 10 miles from the ocean, and I cannot smell it from where I live. I have to get in a car or whatever and go east. And I start to smell the ocean when I'm about a mile from it. I don't know what it's like where you are, CL, but I have to get about a mile from the ocean, and then the air starts to smell like the sea, and I can smell it. Luke and Keith is watching too, who should have his account by now. Keith doesn't need a YouTube account. He's got yours. What does he need a YouTube account for? He's got your account, silly. Hi, Keith. It's good to see you, and it was nice to see you in the post office video, sitting on the couch there, having yourself a little tea and crumpets. Having yourself a scone, maybe, which the Americans would call scones, but I don't. It's a scone. And Granny, yes, the bayou has its own life with its own secrets. That is true. I got to tell you, my personal experience with the bayou is very limited. Like limited to one day, maybe, with a quick trip in and out, visiting a place. Yeah, Lori, you're so right. Monica's video, woo! You guys, when you're done watching this live stream and we cut it out, I want everybody to go over to the Quiet Nomad with Monica, Monica with a K, and watch that old post office video. It's really nice. Her photography and cinematography, the scenery is really nice. And the people who work in that tea house seem pretty nice. Yeah, seems pretty nice. I think Daniel was trying to type something and hit send too quickly, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. Oh, you went back again. That's great. Yeah, awesome. Ruben says I showed hubby Monica's channel and he thought she had like 1 million followers. You would think so. If you watch one of her videos, you would think she's got 1 million followers based on how the video is put together. Monica says it was built in 1858, as far as I know, and I didn't do anything at all, didn't share it anywhere, and uploaded it from my phone. It took me by surprise. I still don't know how you take these videos and make these videos in your phone. I don't know how you're doing all this editing, because it looks like you put a lot of production into it, a full TV studio. Pretty crazy. I don't know how you're doing that on your phone, but yeah, it took off pretty nice. Your dream settles at 1,000. Oh, how can this be Gerald? I must have missed an important comment. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Let's scroll back. I see Gerald said this. Oh, okay. This is Geraldine from hubby's phone and headphones. I'm glad you're able to finally hear things then. Okay, yes, I did miss that. I apologize. So you're not just some random person who showed up and dropped in on the stream, and somebody that I remember somewhere else. It's a complete stranger. So it's funny that I thought you looked familiar. So now we know Geraldine's husband is named Ruben. That's good to know. So Granny's 3 miles from the ocean, and you can smell it. You can smell it at 3 miles. That's cool. Up there, Sebring, right? No, not Sebring. Sebring is in the middle of the state. Sebastian. Get those mixed up, don't I? Sebastian, which you think I would remember because that's the name of our mascot for our college down here, Sebastian the Ibis. That's how I'll remember it better. I'll remember she lives in the ibis, Sebastian. And my dad was just about to say, "No, dummy, that's Geraldine." So, oh, and look at this. A revelation. Ciel's a lady. She's what? We will remember that, and I'm sure you are quite the lady. He had a bakewell, he says. What is that in reply to? I don't know what that's in response to. I must have missed it. Sorry. Fair warning, don't watch the video. That's exactly right. Do not watch Monica's video if you're hungry, because she has all of the scenes and scenery of the cakes and the cookies and the snacks. Yep. See, Monica, I told you how good your videos are. I brag about you all the time. Yep. And in case you all missed it, good news, Mr. John is back. Our buddy John, who I worked with for all those years, is back and is able to join us this time. He hasn't been able to make it on the live stream for quite a while, partly because we went to a later hour. But looks like you can join us this time, John, so I'm so glad you're here. So I used to go up to Jazz Fest every year. 3-day long Jazz Fest. That's pretty cool. 10 bands every hour. $3 plates of crawdads. That sounds pretty cool. Back when Eastern, oh man, remember Eastern Air? Yeah, you're really dating yourself, buddy. Yeah, Monica's videos go very well with morning coffee and scones, right? I have a great nephew named Sebastian. Thank you, friends. Much appreciated. Means a lot. And everybody say hi to John. Yeah. So, I want to bring your attention to another YouTube channel. And this is nature adjacent, I would say, probably. And this one is called, you may have heard of it. This one is called Jet Lag, the game. And this is a bunch of Gen Z kids who go playing tag, and they play tag around the world. Each one of their video series are chopped up into a season, so it's really best to go into the playlist section here. And for example, they played Snake across South Korea. They played a game on the trains of South Korea and played Snake, trying to catch each other. Here they played hide and seek across New York City. Here in the European countries, in the middle of Europe, they played tag. Here they played hide and seek in Japan. And so each series is 5 or 6 episodes, and each episode represents basically a day of gameplay. They give themselves a certain amount of hours in the day, and 2 of them try to catch the third one, and they say, "You're it, run," and they give him like a 1-hour head start, and he jumps on a train and books it. And the 2 who are seeking him can see on their phone what his location is, so they can see where he's going and which train he's trying to take, stuff like that. But but the person who's running can't see where they are. He can't see them. So they chase him and try to tag him. Or they play hide and seek. They'll play hide and seek, or they'll play capture the flag. So this is a really fun channel. I really enjoy these kids making these. The channel, Jet Lag the Game, is connected to the same young guy. Right here is his picture. His name's Sam. He also created Wendover Productions, which does a lot of travel documentaries and nature documentaries and country documentaries, transportation documentaries. So Wendover Productions is his channel. He also helped found the Nebula streaming service. If you've ever heard of Nebula, where people put their videos. In fact, if you're watching, the All-Star tag, for example, I see YouTube still glitching a little bit. That blinking is glitching a little bit. YouTube needs to figure their crap out. But if you're watching this and you get to the end of an episode, you can actually watch the next episode early on Nebula, which is their own streaming service. So it's cool to see Gen Z kids building, little small companies that blow up and they become billionaires, and their own streaming services and their own channel ideas. So Wendover and Jet Lag, billions of views, millions of subscribers, lots of fun. Really cool watching these energetic young folks. So there you go, Jet Lag the Game. Let's take a quick peek at our weather. We are not expecting much rain, and just for Geraldine's sake, you've always got that one friend who's got the. Oh, I don't want to have this weather map open. I don't like this. I like the lightning map. The lightning map is my friend. There's no precipitation anywhere around. John's probably got some up there in the Jacksonville area, but not so much around here. Well, there's rain, but no lightning and thunder. There is some rain out here, so maybe we'll get some sprinkles. And our buddy Miss Granny is up here in not Sebring, but Sebastian, right around this area. So there's Sebastian, if you were wondering. She's really not that far from me. I made a comment to her in Daniel's live stream that I should drive up there and we can get lunch sometime together, Granny. We'll both go live at the same time on our phones and have a mutual live stream, get lunch, and say hi to other. Lunch will be on me. That'll be my treat. We'll do that. Because it's really not that far. I think that's probably 2-hour drive for me, I'm guessing. Yeah, probably 2-hour drive. We'll have to do that. That'll be fun. One of these days. Let's see. Let me get caught up on the chat, see if I'm missing anything. Jazz music. Are you saying you play drums, Monica? That's pretty cool. If you play drums, that's really cool. Scones with coated cream and strawberry jam. Right, Monica? Proper tea. Absolutely. Yep. You got Salisbury steak in the oven. What are you having? TV dinners, buddy? You making yourself some TV dinners up there without us? Hey, I'll tell you something cool, Daniel, is you're just a little bit south of Indy, where I used to live in Indianapolis, but my daughter and her husband are visiting Indianapolis. They're going over to hang out and see some people. Her brother-in-law, her husband's brother, lives in Indianapolis, so they flew over there today. So my daughter's hanging out not that far from you, Daniel. Granny says it's 75 there, and I can tell you here it's 77. 77, 76 inside the house. Yeah, we'll have to do that, Granny, for sure. For sure. You know, one thing I was curious about is if I had a view up and I bring this on screen with the chat and then I flip to a new view like this one, does it stay up? It does. It did stay up. Okay, that's good. Good to know. You had 11 years of music school. My goodness. That's one of the instruments I play. Haven't for a while, but jazz is super elemental and sensual. Love playing it. That's cool. You should make a little video of yourself playing drums. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. And it's 75 up in the Panhandle too. Up on the bayou. Are you pretty close to Mobile Bay, CL? You must be, right? Because you're on the bayou, but I know you're in Panhandle, Florida, so you must be pretty close to Mobile, right? What time is it getting to be? 10 to 9 here on the East Coast. CL, you're in Central Time Zone? You must be so far westward because we have a little sliver of Florida, which is in the next time zone over, so it must be coming up on 8 o'clock for you, I'm betting, right? Peruvian Florida. Right. No, it's Floridian Peru. You got it backwards. It's not Peruvian Florida. 71 in Jacksonville. Here comes the fall weather. You get real fall weather. You're far enough north, John, that you're actually gonna get real fall weather. Yep. Are there any northerners in this chat, or are you all southerners? I think, well, no. Lori is in New Hampshire. We learned that on your own stream. So she is up there where the leaf peepers are coming up to see the fall foliage turning colors. I believe that it's almost peak season, although I'll tell you something, and she can probably corroborate this. They had a little bit of a drought up there in New England. So the leaves are not in their full majesty for fall this year. They're going to look amazing. They're going to look beautiful. And people will still come to Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine to look at the leaves. But I don't think they're going to be quite as fully spectacular as they always are because of the drought that New England had a little while ago. And then as far as northerners, the only other person who's up north is Geraldine, who was up north if you turn the earth upside down. because she's south of the equator. Yeah, very late for Monica. Very late. Um, I just have to speak so enthusiastically to keep Monica awake so she doesn't fall asleep because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So if I speak enthusiastically like a crazy YouTuber, she'll never fall asleep. She'll be up all night. Yeah, CL says it is almost 8 o'clock there. Right, exactly. Yeah. Um, Celsius. So she wants to know how hot it is. So okay, so basically, think of it this way: it's like in the 30s for all of us. We're all in the 70s, and so it's basically in the 25s, maybe high 20s for you, Geraldine. Yeah, you did have a major drought, right? I hope that's broken and over with by now. Hopefully, talking to seals like time travel. It's 2 in the morning. No, it's not. It's 8. It's 8 at night. No, it's not. It's 2 in the morning. I guess I will show you one or two other things while I have that view open. You guys know what Locals is? Locals is yet another stream service. This one's connected to Rumble, and I did go ahead and add a little. Here, let me turn on this view as member screen. So I created a little escaping the suburbs community. It's a lot like most of the streaming services, and I could live stream directly to Rumble if I wanted to, as well as X and Facebook and YouTube. I'm just doing YouTube. The reason I'm showing this to you is I want you folks to see that this is out here, and basically I kind of just set up shop. I set up shop on this streaming service because I think it's important to claim your brand, right? So think about Lori's Soul Circle. How would you feel if somebody else set up something on Locals or Facebook or any of the streaming services out there using your name and your brand, right? So by coming in here and setting up the Escaping the Suburbs channel, as it were, they call them communities on Locals. It's just escapingthesuburbs.locals.com. When I set that up on here, that means no one else can do it. It's claimed, right? I've already kind of stuck my flag in the ground here on this website. So that's something I learned a long time ago, is that if there's a platform out there like Twitter or Facebook or something like that, just even if you're not going to use it, and I did post one video over here, doesn't matter, but even if you're not going to post stuff on there regularly, just go ahead and set it up. It gives you a new experience and you learn a new skill. Add that skill to your stack of skills. But that way, you've planted your flag in that platform. Platform is the word I'm looking for. And nobody else can go in there and become you because you've already set yourself up in there, So yeah, I just wanted to point out Locals to you folks over there, and that's true of all of them. I've got the Twitter page, which is not Twitter anymore, right? There's myself over on X, and I've got myself on Facebook, and all the others. So that's my little tiny piece of advice: is just go stake out your real identity for yourself at all the platforms. Okay, what am I missing in the chat? Let's see what we're talking about here. Time travel could be fun. We are kind of time traveling. That's true. CL, what era would you choose if you could visit, and which one would you want to live? Time for me to read the granddaughter. Y'all have a great night, sweet dreams. Goodbye, Granny. Thank you for dropping in. We really appreciate your company. We try to pick a time for our streams that works well for everyone, but it's so hard. Like, I normally go live at 7 p.m., but I've started going live at 6 because it's getting dark outside. And you do your live stream from out there on the porch, so you kind of have to, and it's going to get darker earlier and earlier. But the other thing is, all of us folks who do live streaming, we're trying not to step on each other. I'm trying not to do a live stream at the same time as Granny and the same time as Daniel, and trying not to live stream the same time when Rob does. And we kind of set up camp here on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern and just be consistent so that people know when to look for us. That's basic idea. Seal would like to see castles, but I wouldn't want to live back in the Middle Ages. Yeah, no kidding. I don't know how long we'd live if we were transported as we are today to the Middle Ages. Wonder how long we'd live. I don't know. I give myself 48 hours. Daniel is on Rumble and hasn't posted in months on there and don't know how it works very well. That's okay. You know, you don't even need to use it. You don't have to do anything with it. Like I said, just go over there, set up an account, put up your logo or your banner or something like that, and make a little post that says, "Hi, I'm here," or something like that. That's it. That's all you got to do. I'm kind of curious about your outdoor stories. I want to hear from you what you did this week to get out into nature, how it made you feel. What did it smell like we were talking about before? Did you get to a park? Did you go visit a nature preserve? The nature preserve I went to, High Ridge, it's got those gopher tortoises that I had seen at a couple of other places I was at. And they're so cute. You know, they're like 2 feet long tortoises walking along on the ground right in front of you, looking at you like, "Don't bother me. I'm in danger. You're not allowed to bother me." They're really cute. Saw 4 or 5 of those guys. Pretty cool. But show me and tell me your nature stories. Yep, Pop's got to get going. It is getting to be, it's a minute before 9 o'clock. I probably should sign off because we've been going for an hour. But leave me a comment either in this video after we close or perhaps on one of the other videos. I want to hear where you went, what you did, what you felt, what you smelt, and what you liked. And last but not least, I just want to tell you folks that I am not going to be clipping these live streams into shorts like I had been doing. I took a week off from that, stopped clipping these live streams into little shorts, and subscribers jumped. People started, I think we were stalled out on subscribers, and I think maybe that those shorts that I was making based on live streams might have been confusing people. Because the channel's supposed to be about nature, the outdoors, and getting away from the hectic hustle bustle of the city. But it was full of shorts of me live streaming, talking about YouTube or talking about whatever. So I'm still going to put, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing shorts at all. I don't want to have a fragmented audience and half the people watch shorts and half the people don't. So maybe I'll do a week of no shorts and see what that does. It'll take a hit on the number of views because we're getting views like crazy on shorts, but I don't really think they're all that productive. People leave comments, and I can tell they're just drive-by, hit-and-run comments, So, yeah, today we had a record 12 views at one time. So, as I said, these are continuing to grow. As Rob the Maritimer predicted, keep showing up. Let people know when they can find you and try to be consistent, and people start dropping in. And look at all you awesome people. We had a reminder. We had John here. John saying I was 2 weeks in Italy, France, Spain, then Chicago. And then you were down here in Fort Lauderdale. Yep. Oh, you're talking about what was on the airplane, I suppose? Is that what you were having on the trip? That's cool. But I want to thank Monica and John and Dad, CL, Geraldine, Daniel, our paid member. Thank you, Granny, who's gone now, and Geraldine. Lori, thank you so much for dropping in. You are, I got to tell you, Lori, you are a very sweet, consistent commenter, as is CL, who always drops her little wave and heart emojis on our videos. Those of you who are consistent commenters, it's so nice to wake up in the morning and check comments and see you folks have left me some, nice little thought or phrase. So I really appreciate that. But I am going to sign off. I am going to tell you all how much I appreciate you. I'll play a little bit of music here for Monica so she can listen to that. And thank you so much, everybody. I will talk to you guys this time next week, and watch for a video tomorrow morning, which will be evening for Monica. But for the rest of you, watch for a video tomorrow morning, and I'll see you later.